Stand by. Hang on. No, I still got a black screen.
So
I don't know. I don't really know what to do with that. Like that's. I know the.
And
what's this guy got?
oh my god, a 19. Get the fuck out of my face, you little fucking bitch. Oh, I'm fucking out of here. Out of here. I'm gonna catch that motherfucker slipping in the street.
I gotta clip that. It's coming up.
Oh, I'm just gonna come over here and just fucking stare at this dude. Gonna fucking stare at this.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I'm definitely a mother lover myself, so let me tell you, Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. What's going on, man? What's going on? How too?
I think I already have a parachute.
Oh no.
What? Oh, is that somebody? Is that a player? That's a player.
Ah! That's what happens, bro.
Hey, fuck around and find out, dude. He found out.
Boring.
Stole the words right out from me.
Yeah, rabbits and
Fuck all these motherless fucks. Fuck me too.
the first thing is, who are you guys? What is Blaze Online?
Good. Good. So, who are we?
Did you say get? Did you say? Get ahead.
Uh-oh.
Jay. This is what we say when we talk about Skype. Jay.
Yeah. There it goes.
Oh, Jay, you broke up for a second. Original guy who did the voice.
Right.
So you really have a target on your head. Two, you look like a fuck boy. And he's over here playing the game that he's hired. Look
That's
at
badass.
this.
Oh, it's fucking on, dude. Yeah, you should definitely go over to the casino.
Nah, we're gonna do it right here.
Oh.
Oh shit!
You got another shot?
I just got an achievement for that. This guy's running.
You got
Man, oh man. That was just a little preview of the bigger picture of what you guys are going to see very, very, very soon. But, woo, what a year, baby.
There we go. There we go. There we go. I think you still got the share screen on, brother.
Oh, yep. Oh, man, my favorite part of that whole scenario is these motherless fucks.
Those motherless fucks.
And fuck me too.
I've got such a trash mouth, dude. Like it's ridiculous, dude.
Oh man, look at my wife and I. She's been helping me with the compilation, and it's just going back and seeing some of these things, and there was just some hilarious parts, and you're just like, oh my god, did that really happen? And I don't like it I don't
Yeah.
remember it. It's funny shit, man. It's
Well, when you do something literally every week for 52 weeks, a lot of stuff is going to kind of fall by the wayside eventually. It's hard to remember every day of the last year, let alone like one day a week, every week of the last year. And it really goes to show like the passage of time and how it kind of it's a very internalized, thing when it's only been a year. And so I guess as adults, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but then you go back and you see a couple of hours of time once a week for an entire year. You really do see kind of the passage of time.
yeah, and
You see all the stuff that kind of just gets lost in the fog of our brains. You know what I mean?
and it's so cool because we have spoken about so many things, and there was so many things that happened in between the year.
Oh God, yes.
Like one of the
God.
like one of the craziest things that happened last year was Dr. Disrespect got banned on Twitch. We were in the
Tell
middle.
me about that because I was reading up on him after you mentioned him. You mentioned him several weeks ago, and I didn't do a deep dive, but I kind of looked into some of his stuff, and like I've said before, I can definitely see his appeal. Might not be entirely up my alley.
Yeah.
But he is kind of fun to watch. I don't know if he's a guy I would really subscribe to, but he's fun. But he is fun to watch. And what was the whole thing that happened with? Because you said he started as like a rated R streamer, and then he went over and kind of toned down his content. So what happened?
He's always been pushing the edge, and it's funny that you say that.
Happy 1 year. There you go. So
red, white, and blue. Holy shit!
red, white, blue. It's cherry limeade flavor. Rip it. So I'm kind of breaking my diet here.
Oh my god!
This morning having this. So, but happy 1 year.
Cherry limeade, folks. Cherry limeade, folks. And
We did not have this flavor downrange, by the way. So I've been enjoying the cherry limeade Rip Its lately because
we're gonna have to start making you do some Rip It reviews.
Yeah, there's a shitload. The Dollar General store that I have here, they have the Power, which is the red. They have the Citrus, which is the 0 sugar, 0 calorie, yellow.
Citrus.
And then they have the cherry limeade, super patriotic tribute cans.
But there's like that.
There's like 10 different flavors. Like there's a grape one that we had downrange. It's the purple can. We had the grape one, but there's like 10 different flavors that like I've never even tried from Rip It, So yeah, I'm gonna have to like ask Rip It for like to send me a box or something. So
I'm telling you, man. So yeah, and it's funny that you say that he's entertaining to watch, but you don't necessarily see yourself sitting there.
Right.
My wife, she couldn't stand the guy.
Okay.
The guy's he's doing one of these, and he's always, Pake, he's always screaming and shit like that, but he's entertaining, he does these things that are just entertaining. And so between him, Shroud, and Ninja, they were literally, I guess you could call it a monopoly in gaming, because those three were literally taking over the streaming platform at that time. And Mixer came out, and if you guys don't remember what happened with Mixer, give yourselves a big history lesson. But I'll tell you real quick, Mixer got shut down because of allegations of workplace abuse and racism in the offices.
Jesus.
Yeah, and and this was something that we broke probably in our first or second episode, which is also very interesting because all this happened at the same time. And during a convention, Dr. Disrespect was filming, and his producer followed him inside of a bathroom.
Okay.
With the camera recording, live streaming. Now, the biggest problem was there was a child in there. And the child, yes. And you already know, like, the same thing with YouTube, and,
Don't mess around with that. That's right. Yeah.
If it's not someone that you don't have permission to film, especially if it's a child, it's a big no.
That's a big no-no. That's a big no-no.
Yeah, so this whole big thing, he got banned the first time, and his producer got fired.
Okay.
The whole soul thing went straight to the producer. It technically it is his fault. You know,
Right.
he's the producer's job is to make sure that he knows the limits and the ground to stop
And doesn't
filming. You
and
know,
doesn't cross them basically. Yes.
exactly like me. I'm here to make sure that the line isn't crossed. I'm here to make sure that everything goes the way it's supposed to. And this producer made the mistake of continue filming inside the bathroom.
Okay.
Easy fix. He got fired.
Right.
Which there's actually a very funny compilation of Dr. Disrespect firing Alex several times on his streams, which it's hilarious. So apparently there was a rumor going around that Dr. Disrespect and other streamers were working with Google to create a new streaming platform.
Okay.
And that this is just a rumor that just broke about a month ago.
Okay.
And that he reached out to other streamers, and one of those streamers turned back to Twitch and was just like, hey, these guys are doing this, da 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 da, and that apparently led to the permanent ban of Dr. Disrespect.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
And it
so basically adult drama is what I'm hearing. Adult drama. Although to the not really to the credit of, but maybe to play devil's advocate for Dr. Disrespect, when you get, when you're making a living, making a livelihood off of your shtick, being Dr. Disrespect and streaming your gameplay and whatever, and you're making whatever platform you're on, you're making that platform money as well.
we're talking 8 figures.
Yeah, like and you get banned, you know what I mean? Like there is something to be said for, okay, well, what do you expect me to do now then? You guys gave me a temporary ban for making a mistake, got you, but if I can't mend fences, and if that bridge is burned, what do you expect me to do? Like, I'm gonna go somewhere else and ply my wares somewhere else, basically.
And
So
and there's two sides too, because like you have, like me, sometimes you have that businessman mind, and you're like, okay, maybe we can actually have some competition out here. Mixer's
Sure.
gone.
Right.
Facebook is not that much of a competition, to be honest with you.
No, it's not.
Because
No,
there's constant
That's-
censoring on there.
Well, and that's exactly why we allow on the DD214 gaming page. It's why we allow people to stream and share their streams once a day. Every single one of our members can share one stream a day.
Yep.
And we don't really ask anything more than don't do it more than once a day. But that's exactly why we allow people to do it, because where else are they going to put their stuff out there? You know what I mean? Like where else are they going to get themselves out there?
Exactly.
And
Mixer was that.
Right.
Mixer was that.
And Mixer doesn't exist anymore.
And
So
I have to tell you, when I was on Mixer, I would play Fallout 76, and I would have 15 to 30 people watching every time I streamed.
Right.
It was interactive. You can literally, there's a button that they had on Mixer, where if you were watching me, Jay, you can click use controller, and you can control my gameplay while I go take a piss from
No way.
from your seat while you're watching me.
That's intense. That sounds really cool, actually. That sounds really cool.
They also had co-streaming, which you can only co-stream on Twitch if you're a partner.
What does being a partner entail? What does that mean?
Like 5,000 followers, 1,000.
Oh,
It's
so it's basically a video game. Like, you gotta unlock achievements just to get the good shit.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you. Fuck you.
So all in all, so again, that's the one side. You want to see the competition. You want to see other people strive to do better. You want to see other people do.
Absolutely. Well, hold on, John. You want to see other people succeed if you're altruistic like you and me, right? I think there's a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people out there that are definitely not as open-minded about sharing success. As other.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's where it leads to my next point, where if you're in a situation like Gina Carano did with Disney, if you're working for Twitch, you can't speak or do anything other than what their terms are, because that's the umbrella that you fell under and that's what you signed
Yes.
up for.
And we have covered those bases many times on this podcast. As far as you in today's modern world, you don't necessarily have the ultimate freedom of speech, because if you're part of a platform, if you're part of a social media site, and you violate their terms of service, like you're using them, which falls under a corporation or a company. All they have to do is ban you, and you're done. You know what I mean?
And to be honest
I
with
mean,
you, there's been a lot of
like,
scandal going on with Twitch within the last 3 weeks. I wouldn't
right.
be surprised within the next 10 years that Twitch is gone.
Well, I'll tell you what, we live in an era, and not to get too political, for either either of the two
Yeah.
opposing sides in our country, but I mean, we do live in an era where it was literally this year, the president of the United States was banned from Twitter. So we're talking like that's the era we live in right now, where basically, like, the president of the United States was banned from a social media site. I'm not going to get into the deep in the weeds on how that occurred or why,
Yep.
but the fact that it happened, period, is kind of a big statement. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
where, like, when the president of the United States can no longer use a social media site, for better or worse. I'm not gonna go there, but
Yeah.
but the fact remains, a social media platform banned the president. Well, actually, multiple social media platforms, but the big one, obviously, that everybody knows he was famous for using. The fact that he was banned from there while still serving in office is a big deal. Like, it was kind of a watershed moment in social media history, which I think historians will probably look back on and say, like, that was kind of a watershed moment. Like, the corporation has that much power
Yep.
to deny the president of the United States a platform to speak. In essence, basically, that's
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Hey, did you tell me that you let your family watch watch our podcast, and they liked it a lot? Did you tell me that?
Yeah. So I showed
Tell me
them.
about,
I
tell me,
show. I show.
tell me about your week.
So the week was actually it was a pretty. It was a, you know, oh my God. How do I start this off? It was Prime Day at work.
Okay.
And so if you work in retail, and you're still working in retail after this week, I applaud you, because if your retail supplier was price matching, then then
Oh,
then,
okay.
then you're fucked, because it was 3 straight days of rugs, giant mini refrigerators, and pounds upon pounds upon pounds of clothes.
Right.
It was interesting, but Thursday had the day off, relaxed, cleaned, was getting ready for the family to come by, and yeah, we a special guest star. You're,
Special guest star, the
hey,
princess.
you're supposed to be pulling security.
Thought
Watch,
you had our six.
you're supposed to
Thought
be
you had
pulling
our six.
security, baby. It means guard the door. Where was I? But yeah,
We're talking.
so
Yeah,
we get everything for the barbecue for yesterday's barbecue ready on Thursday. We get all the meat and stuff like that. We're like, yeah, we're gonna do it. We get the grill. I put the grill together yesterday.
oh, you should definitely put up those pictures if you can.
Um,
Those were amazing, dude. Those pictures were amazing.
Let me see if I can
keep,
pull it
keep,
up.
can you talk while you do it?
Yeah,
'Cause
so I put we put together the grill, and everyone's coming. We're like, yeah, we got the meat. We're all excited, and we bring the grill downstairs, and oh, here it is. So this is the before. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, so this is the before. The grill was literally hanging on its literal last leg. Literal. Look at that. And
I'm not seeing it on the. Oh yeah, there it is. You got it. You got it. Yep.
so the grill, for some odd reason, and it was perfectly fine when we put it together. There was nothing wrong with it. You know, there was not even a speck of weight on it, and it was falling apart. So this is what was going on. So then I was literally like losing my mind, and I'm just like, okay, what do we do here? What is gonna happen here? So then my aunt comes down, and my aunt who's been here, who's here from Puerto Rico, did
Right.
that. Now that, my friends, is Puerto Rican ingenuity. That is how it's done, and it took several tries to kind of concoct this idea together, but it works.
Oh
It
yeah.
works, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
The job was done, you know. We oh wait, you guys are not supposed to see that. Oh, and I'm hitting the lock button instead of the remove button. Okay, there we go.
Oops.
You know, but we did the
Yep.
barbecue. Man, I had some of the best burgers yesterday. You know, but it was great, man. I haven't seen my family. This was the first time seeing my family in a long time, especially during like after the whole coronavirus thing has transpired and everything is starting to open up and be, you know, America again.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but it was a good weekend. You know, the only thing that I couldn't stop thinking about is we're here. We're
We made
fucking
it a
here,
year.
man.
Made,
How was your week, man?
my week was okay. Started a little wobbly. And then kind of I got kind of into my groove, and you know, I kind of got down on myself at the beginning of the week, and then I had a long me and my girlfriend, my beautiful girlfriend. Like this woman is so astute at like pulling me out of the darkness sometimes. But we had a long talk, and so over the course of the middle of the week, going in towards the end of the week, I started pulling my head out of my ass basically, and I started getting a lot of shit done. So I completed a lot of things this week that needed to be done for my out processing of the Army. I'm trying to get a lot of this stuff done now because I'm going to be visiting her later this week. So I'm going to Kansas City later this week, and I wanted to get a lot of this stuff done. And tomorrow, so yesterday, you're already aware of this, obviously, John, but for the viewers, yesterday I pulled all of my military gear out from, the last 6 years I've been at Fort Carson and the last 11 years of my career, whatever I've got left from the very beginning, even. And I basically had to start sorting through all my gear. And thankfully, for all the things in my life that I'm not very organized with, ever since I've been in the Army, I was always good at keeping my gear in one place. All the bags were together, all the tote boxes were together. I've got gear from Fort that was issued to me at Fort freaking Leonard Wood like 11 years ago, 11 and a half years ago, literally.
So there's
And
literally layers of memories and dirt and
oh yeah, I found a uniform from this. It would have been my second time, so that would have been 2013. I found a uniform, an old AC. It's called, the camouflage pattern is UCP. It's the grays,
yeah,
the
yep,
digital
the
camo, the
digitals.
grays. And I found a uniform that I wore on my second deployment, or my second, not deployment, my second tryout for Special Forces. And the reason I knew it was a uniform I wore for that tryout is because you have to stitch engineer tape on several places on the top and the bottom,
Oh,
the top and the pants with engineer tape. And then when you get to selection, you get your roster number. And my roster number was that second time was 49. And so you write in black Sharpie 449 in Sharpie on every single piece of engineer tape. So the cadre, the Green Beret cadre,
those it's
while they
yours.
if you make a mistake, if you do something good, whatever, they write down roster 49 did this, roster 49 did that, whatever, right? I have one of those uniforms now, like in my bag. I showed you a picture yesterday. I found
Yeah.
the first pair of pants. I like my first pair of deployment pants that I literally wore out. Like the ass is blown out. The pockets are all blown out.
Dude, they looked ravaged.
Oh, dude, the cargo pockets both have holes in them from where I carried extra magazines for so long in them. So they got the magazines slowly tore through them as I'd wear them, doing work and rolling around on the ground, underneath vehicles.
That's an interesting thing about the pants too.
Yeah, they've got those pants have history, dude. Like they're old, and yeah, a lot of memories. But the reason I was going through all my gear is because tomorrow morning at 8:30 I have an appointment. To turn in my gear, and that is a big moment for anybody that's been in the military. It's a big moment when, whether you're changing duty stations and just you're staying in and you're changing duty stations, you have to turn in gear at your current duty station before you go to your next one. For those of us that are getting ready to get out of the military completely, you have to turn in your gear for the last time, and this will be the last time I have to turn in gear. So I'm getting my gear ready. I've got canteens on my counter over here that are, oh dude, I wish I could share this picture with you. I poured out, for whatever reason, a couple of these canteens still, like, I'm talking years they've been inside, just a duffel bag or a tote box, because we don't use canteens really in the Army, right? But every once in a blue moon. And like two of these canteens had a minute amount of water still in them. I poured it out, dude, and it was like orange colored, like orange piss colored. And I was like, I got a strong stomach. Dude. And when I poured that shit out, I was like, like, oh my God. Like, I'm assuming I poured orange, some of that orange, like, drink mix. I'm praying to God, because, oh my God. Like, when it came out that color, dude, I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, gross, dude, gross. Like, and I got a strong stomach, dude. And I was just like, oh,
like,
dear
whoa,
God,
what is going on here? So what would be your best advice for those who are getting out right now, to getting their gear together, especially with those who have years of gear like you do?
So I sent you a couple of pictures yesterday, and I mean, you can even put them up if you want. I don't care if you can put up that picture of the one where I have everything laid out.
Oh,
so
that's too easy, yeah.
You're in your military mode, whatever branch you're in. You have to do layouts. They want you to do layouts. Your NCOs, when you're a private or whatever, they make you do layouts. So remember how to do layouts. And so what I did was I dumped everything out and I started sorting it. I know that the Army's not taking back my uniforms, so all my uniforms went to the side. All of my undershirts, all of my the warm weather stuff that goes on your body, they don't take any of that back. So I put all that crap to the side in a big giant pile of clothes, just to get it out of the way. All the stuff that I knew I was having to keep to turn in, I put that in another pile, and I separated those piles from clothing and gear. And then once all that was done, I put out my rain poncho on the floor, and I started like setting stuff out row by row by row. And then once that was done, once again, my beautiful girlfriend, my woman Nikki, she came to the rescue. I sent her a PDF of my clothing record, and then we went through it line by line. She's like, "Do you have this?" And I was like, "What's the last four of the NSN?" So I'd start checking tags, like 23558, got it. She put a check mark next to it, and then we went down gear item by gear item of me having her. Are those my pants?
Yep, these are the pants right here.
Yeah, tell the.
These got to be the magazine holes right here.
No, that's the front. That's the front. The magazine holes is the third picture. So that's on the front. That's the front of the pants. There's another picture where you can see how bad
there's the
that's
back.
The front. That's not the back. That's the front.
Oh, you're a second delayed, so it'll.
My bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, you can see, your ass is blown out.
Yeah, I had to finally stop wearing them because I couldn't they were. I wore those pants and I was able to wash them a few times, so don't think I wore like dirty pants, but I wore those pants probably, I want to say, the first almost 4 months straight.
Yep, and
every day.
Yep, and there's your gear.
We didn't know when we were going to get stuff, and we had a hard time getting mail when we first got there. So I didn't want to wear too many uniforms because you only have like a few sets. So I wore the same set of uniforms like every fucking day.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure that I had other uniforms for later if I needed them.
And also
If that makes sense.
probably lighten the load too sometimes too, because in
Yeah.
the end you're still carrying all that stuff with you physically. You know, you have
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and we were on it was a very, very small kind of isolated fob, but we were on a fob. So, but between the work day, we worked every single day. We went on missions. You know, we as mechanics, we had a rotation where I wasn't on mission every day, but I was on mission, 2 to 4 times a week, depending on the mission rotation. And so, you know, yeah, I see. Yeah, you see the layout, man. That was my final layout, basically.
Yeah.
That picture's the final layout, and that was everything. That was everything that I had like laid out, and then I went with my girlfriend, and we went down like line by line on the on my clothing record to see what I did have and didn't have.
and then there's the final result.
And that's and just for purposes of laughter, I guess that's what $15,000 looks like to the United States Army. I'm on the hook for $15,000 for all that gear. So basically, like I gotta make sure that I have it. I gotta make sure it's clean, and I'm turning it all in tomorrow. So thank God, I won't have to worry about it after that. So yeah.
Woo, man! But
Here we go, baby.
I gotta say though, look at the organization. Like your canteens are all together. Your helmets, your bags, like everything is put together in a theme.
That's what I wanted to. Yeah, that you said you asked for advice, and the advice is, even if you're kind of disorganized as a person, which I kind of tend to be at times, remember your training, and when you're getting ready to get out, stay organized. Like get organized. With what I was kind of down in the dumps earlier this week about it because I was, just beating myself up, and I get stressed out sometimes with a lot of stuff, and getting out of the arm. Oh God, Alex, that sucks, dude. $500 for an IR patch.
Yeah,
I just found like 3 of them yesterday. $500, dude.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
And
they're not even worth that much.
Yeah, and I feel his pain because he was like, I separated after deployment, and they were so anal about the dust on the gear. I fucking spent so much time cleaning my gear. I had to pay $5 for the American flag IR patch. That and you want I obviously never got one because I have no combat experience, but I'll never forget. I remember I soaked my gear in the tub with a bunch of I can't remember like the stuff I used. But I left it in there for like a day or two, let all the soap come out. Next day, they still charge me for dirtiness. They'll find something to charge you about. But that's probably one of the most difficult things with CIF is that it has to be. And it depends by the person receiving it too. Sometimes, because sometimes most of them for the most part that work at CIF are veterans and they get it.
And I was actually just getting ready to. So I talked to the lady at CIF at Fort Carson, and she gave me a certain set of instructions. I am doing some laundry today, but I'm not doing nearly the amount of laundry you would probably think I'm doing. And then some of my gear, it's got like a little bit of wear and tear on it, but like I don't freaking care. Like I'm gonna turn it in tomorrow. If they kick it back, they kick it back. If not, I don't care, because it's not worth the time, and it's not worth the hassle. Like I've got my IOTV, like my body armor, right? The outer shell of my body armor, not the plates, but just the outer shell. Yeah. It has literally 4 years of dust and sweat and mud and blood caked onto it. So we're talking like a training cycle in 2015, a deployment in 2016, a training cycle in 2017, a second deployment in 2018. 4 straight years of training and deployments. Here's the cool part. CIF at Fort Carson said you don't have to clean the IOTVs. Thank fucking God.
Fantastic.
Thank fucking God, because I would be FUCK fucked. That thing ain't coming clean. There's no way. There's no fucking way. So I do have a few things I still have to do today before I pack everything and load it in my car, but it's not as much as you would think. And because
that's good.
The really good part is that a lot of the gear that I have, it immediately, because it's that digital pattern, it immediately went into a bag and I never touched it. So like a lot of that gear is a lot of that we stopped using digital pattern like right when I got to Fort Carson.
That's right.
So I didn't have to use any of it. So a lot of it went into a bag, went into a closet or the storage shed, and it stayed fresh the whole time. All I had to do was pull it out. So a lot of it really isn't dirty. So I have a little bit of stuff to do today, but it's not nearly as I have to disassemble my rucksacks, and I had to cut off a couple patches yesterday. I'm making sure the canteens are all dried out today, and then after that, I'm pretty much done. That's really that's it. That's it.
That's the closing chapter right there.
That is, and that's my advice is just to stay organized. If you're in the military, keep your gear together. Don't keep half your gear in a storage shed and half your gear at the house because you use it. Keep it all together at all times. Because yesterday when I pulled everything out, I pretty much had everything. And there was a couple things on my clothing record that they raised some question marks between me and my girlfriend when she was asking me about it. And I was like, she's like, do you have blah, blah, blah? And I was like, we'd look it up online.
Yeah.
Based on like the LIN or the NSN number.
Yeah, because you can find you can find the TMs and shit like that on Google easily if you don't know.
Yeah, and we were questioning. I was like, what? Why are they asking for that? Or like, there's a certain winter jacket, and I have the winter jacket, but the NSN that they have on my clothing record is wrong. It doesn't match.
Oh.
But it's the same winter jacket. And I'm like, I have the winter jacket, but the NSN doesn't match. I'll take that up with CIF. I'll be, you go in there. If you go in there with a good attitude, 9 times out of 10, they'll work with you. Yeah. If you go in there acting like a fucking prick, they're gonna act like fucking pricks. Because usually the people that work at CIF, those are your former first sergeants, your former sergeants major, former majors, majors, officers. It's like
they know what it needs to look like.
Absolutely. Well, not only do they know what it needs to look like, but they also know how the Army works. Like you said, and it's like if you go in there acting like a prick, you're gonna get that right back. Yeah. If you go in there with a little bit of a smile on your face and a good attitude, they will work with you. Absolutely. They might need to kick a couple things back. Okay, kick it back. Just tell me what you need to do. I'm not gonna cry if they kick some shit back. Big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. So I got to take a couple things home. Oh man, what am I gonna? I gotta clear post next month. What am I gonna do? Yeah, shut the fuck up.
I gotta stick with these knee pads I'm never gonna use anymore.
Oh, dude, Jesus Christ, dude! It's like, come on, like because when I was getting ready to reclass, I was at Fort Leonard Wood, and I got ready to go down to Fort Benning to train to become an infantryman. I had to go to CIF 3 times before I cleared, but I didn't get all salty about it. I knew I was probably gonna have to go back, so I set up an appointment to turn in my deployment gear, an appointment to turn in my regular gear. And I set up a 3rd appointment to bring back anything that got kicked back. And guess what? I cleared. I made it. You know what I mean? Like, that was it. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, you go in there with a good attitude, they will work with you. They'll tell you, exactly what you need to do. So I'm going to take all this gear in tomorrow. Whatever they take. If they kick something back, oh no, I'll fucking clean. Oh no, the sky is falling, right? Like, big fucking, don't be a fucking pussy. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be out of the Army either way in October. So
yeah, you still have time. Like
I got plenty of time.
And I mean, we talked about this not even too long ago. Even if you got to go to the fucking pawn shop and get yourself something that one of these soldiers.
Speaking of which, I found those coveralls. I did coveralls. I found them. That was the only thing I thought was missing. That was the only thing I thought was missing.
That's great.
And I got them. So there you go. Like I legitimately don't think I'm missing anything. I think I have everything that they're going to ask me for.
And that's good. Alex Lear says my CIF in Germany hated life, dude. Good attitude or not, they were as cold as my drill sergeants in basics. Oh man.
There are assholes like that.
And you know what? There's so many things in the Army that would depress you. So many things that'll trigger you, but nothing is as aggravating and as nerve-wracking as CIF. You get there butt fuck in the morning when everyone's doing PT, and I'm sure it's like this in all installations. When PT starts, you ain't fucking driving nowhere. That's the rule. You can't drive. So you're stuck at CIF with all your shit. Depending where you are, it's probably -2 in the morning, or 78 degrees. You know what I mean? So, I remember.
What's Nikki? Nikki said, guess what the one thing they didn't have on the list was? Fuck, what was it?
Oh no.
I don't remember.
This is gonna be good. What is it?
Yeah, what is it, Nikki? What is it, Nikki? What was the one thing? Because I think
that you have.
She's talking. No, she's talking about the. She's talking about the jumpsuit.
The coveralls.
Coveralls. Yeah, like it wasn't even on there. It wasn't even, like it wasn't on the like coveralls were not on my clothing record. Period.
The thing that you were worried about was not even on the list.
That's right. The one thing I was worried about was not on there. Like I should have just given it to the fucking. I should have left it in the trunk of the car that I sold to that mechanic and just let the mechanic have them. Right
now, is there anything that was in there that was used minimally or not used at all?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Anything that's what I was saying. Anything that was digital, like the UCP camo, anything like I didn't use any of that stuff. I had already deployed, and we were already wearing we were already wearing OCP pattern, right? Which is kind of it's OCP.
I actually wore my last uniform before I got out in 2016 was OCP. Yeah,
and that's so anything like so when I got to Carson in December of 2014, I got my CIF issue. Everything in there that was UCP, I did not use. So like there's all kinds of stuff that didn't get, like I said, it got put into a bag or a tote box, and it never got touched. So like that, and that's why I don't have a lot of laundry to do today. I washed part of my my sleep system last night. I'm washing the second part of my sleep system today, and I think there's a couple of. There might be the actual rucksack itself, not the with the frame and everything, but the rucksack. Yeah. I'm probably gonna wash my rucksacks. You know, after I disassemble the rucksack.
You got to take out the plastic parts and all that shit.
Yeah, but I'll probably wash those.
I love the rucksack. That's actually probably my favorite bag, the rucksack.
Yeah, after that, there's not much because I really kind of came out of this pretty clean. For the most part, I came out of this pretty clean. Like. And like I said, I'm gonna turn it in tomorrow. What they take, they take. If they kick something back, whatever. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it when I get back from Kansas City. So
I mean, shit. That's a big moment too. That's a huge moment in your Army career for anybody. Whether you've been in for 2 years, whether you've been in for 20-something years.
Right.
Separation is not as stressful, fulfilling.
Right,
but at the same time, this is most likely what they wanted, and it makes the experience even better. And in my experience, I had a little bit of both. Some assholes in CIF, some guys were just like, and I was a cook, so I had a couple extra things like cook whites that we had to hand into CIF, and
right,
and the cook whites, they have to be like angel hair white, like
right,
like if there's if some things that they were able to kind of look over, like the feet, because we had to wear the black boots, and if you were wearing pickle suits back in the day, you were shining up those black boots, and it's the same thing that we had to do with the cook whites. They had to be polished, they had to be up to standard according to 670-1, and and I actually still have my cook white boots. They actually, for some odd reason, it was not, they didn't take them back, but they took back my fucking fleece, which is the only thing that I wanted.
Yeah. I got two. I got one from the UCP days, and I got one from the OCP days, and they're both going back. They were both definitely on there.
And I always thought that the rule is if it touched your skin,
That's kind of a misnomer because like for regular day-to-day uniforms, yes, but for the jackets, most of the jackets you have to turn in, it's not necessarily true. I think about how many times I wore my rain gear, my wet weather tops and bottoms in the field.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And like that touches your skin.
Yeah.
Personally, that touches your skin. Just by virtue of whatever, and those are getting turned in. They have to get turned in. So it's like it would be great if I could keep those, for like hiking and camping and stuff like that, but now they're getting turned in.
Yeah. So, what was one of your favorite pieces of gears that you're kind of like, shit, I wish I didn't have to let this go?
Aside from the body armor, right? Actually, there's the thing, you know, you could call it a forward load carrier, a flick, or you could call it the newer version is called taps. So like, here, give me, they're both sitting right there. So give me like
Okay,
2
cool,
seconds.
cool, cool.
Okay, so in the UCP days, let me get back on the right screen here
Oh, it
so I can
looks like
see.
is that the Molly?
Yeah, basically. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the UCP. This is a forward load carrier from the UCP days. It's basically a vest. You put on a vest, and you can attach stuff to it or whatever. We don't use the vest anymore. Now we have what's called taps because our IOTVs have Molly on them, and so the taps is just a magazine belt.
Yeah.
And so I used to have a radio holster. I used to have a radio holster or no, radio holster right here. My first aid kit was right here. Okay. I had ranger beads so I could count my steps basically, like how far we're walking.
Nice.
I had ranger beads right here, a couple of D rings, you know, and then you put your magazines on. And you basically just put this over your head like this, and then you
Just
clip
wrap
it
it.
in. There's clips on the end and over the back of my head, and it sits basically just about like this, like a little bit below your sternum. And I know it seems like weird because what practical use would I have for that in the civilian world? I really wouldn't. But it was my favorite piece of gear because once I had it set up, it was set up.
Yeah.
I set it up for my deployment in 2016, and I never touched it again until yesterday. It literally remained exactly the same. Like I had my radio
Wow.
pouch, I had my IFAC, I had my ranger beads, and I could carry a combat load.
So you could just put it
over
right back
my-
on, and it would be good to go.
I literally never had to touch it again. Never had to touch it again.
That was one of my favorite things. Because I
Oh, I did have to mention something because there's a couple pieces of gear that I have to do this to, which includes the taps. For all you non-combat soldiers out there, when you guys walk around with your crap dangling all the time, it really pisses us off. This is what you do with your straps, so you don't look like a freaking a circus
boot,
performer.
yep.
Like looking like a boot with all the crap hanging off your uniform. All right, with your gear. You take a piece of tape and you roll up those little danglies and you electrical tape them like this. Okay, this is why we make fun of support soldiers sometimes in the infantry. It takes about 5 minutes of your time, and then when you put your gear on, you don't look like a freaking gypsy camp. All right, you don't look all you don't look all ate the fuck up. Okay, take five fucking minutes, soldiers. Okay, make yourself look sharp. Make yourself look sharp. All right. You're supposed to look good in this shit. You're supposed to look good. All right? You don't look professional with your shit hanging all over the place. All right?
Keep it high and tight. You know,
Dude.
And that's my favorite thing. You know, because like my favorite, other than the silks, which I still have my silks.
Yeah, I'm keeping all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
my silks and my waffles, believe it or not, I still religiously wear this to this day. And I actually got in trouble a few times for wearing them in basic training, but because I'm comfortable layered up. And I still wear my waffles to this day. I love my waffles. They're great. They're probably the greatest thing that I've ever had. But other than the waffles, which I'm glad I still have, all pieces, my silks and my waffles.
Yeah.
My favorite equipment was the Molly vest. You know, it's customizable. You customize it to your liking, your comfortability. You could put something in the inside of it, on the outside. You could put magazine pouches, grenade pouches. Like you had radio pouches, first aid kits. You know,
Right.
You could stick the little lights in there, the glow sticks. You could stick them right in between.
Yep.
You know, there were great pieces of equipment. And I maybe one day I'll have one for no reason. You know, just for no reason.
One of these days.
You know, just for no reason. But I mean, I believe it or not, I have actually seen people in civilian workforce using those pouches. There's actually a gentleman that comes into my job who works for Pepsi, and he wears one. And the dude's. I would not be surprised if this guy is probably a veteran. You know, because he's got zip ties, he's got tape on there, he's got a whole bunch of like tools and stuff on there. Like, you know, so
Right.
you know, if you could find a use for it.
Well, I did find a couple of things. I was gifted something on my last deployment. It was a it's basically a weapons cleaning kit, but it came with like a Leatherman, and totally forgot I had it. And I got a brand new Leatherman in there. It's a Gerber. It's a Gerber. It's not actually a Leatherman. It's a Gerber.
That's an essential, unofficial item to have. Like it's.
Oh yeah,
You
100%.
gotta
100%.
have one. You gotta have one.
I found a couple of weapons cleaning kits. And this is stuff that I'm keeping. Like, it's not getting turned in. So I've got like a whole tote box of stuff to go through that I have plenty of stuff in there that basically, like, you know, I get to keep basically, and it's from my time in. So yeah, very necessary.
Now here comes the most important question of this all. Leatherman or Gerber?
Oh, probably depends on your job. Like, and that's like,
okay.
I always had a Gerber. The one that I had on my first deployment broke. I actually broke it from overuse. I broke it.
You broke your Gerber?
It's like when you click out the when you click the thing. I was using it and I snapped one of the two prongs. But I had used it so much on deployment, I'm not even surprised. But I literally snapped the prong off, like it was overuse. And so the Army kind of issues you those things every once in a while.
Yeah.
So I always had a Gerber. You know, I'm sure Leathermans are great, you know, but the Army uses Gerber. And so I've really only ever had a Gerber. So
yeah, and it's funny too because Alex, you know, who we know is Army veteran too, Gerber as well. You know, we just prefer the Gerber.
Support Blaze Online, everybody. Support Blaze Online. I actually told Alex. I actually told a buddy of mine who lives down in Texas about you guys yesterday. And Texas has some really weird marijuana laws right now. And there was a baseball player. Well, not a basketball player got arrested in Texas this week. He's an NBA basketball player on a marijuana charge, and they still have these archaic fucking marijuana laws in Texas. And so I have a buddy who he was one of my former team leaders. He was a sergeant. He was one of my former team leaders. He lives in Texas now because he got out, and we had a long conversation yesterday on the phone. And I told him about Blaze Online. I was like, hey, it's fucking federally legal. You can order this shit and they will ship it to you. So if you need something, because he was talking about how he tried cannabis, but he doesn't like how intense it gets. He still gets weird on it. He gets like the paranoia and all that. I was like, hey man, maybe try Delta 8. You know, it's not as intense, not as extreme, and it's fucking legal. You know, it's federally legal. So, you know, I plugged you yesterday, Alex. I plugged you, man. So, you know, if you get an order from Texas here soon, like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So.
Yeah, man. So, oh, what's up, Drew? Drew Davis, the Menace.
Yeah.
You know, and it's cool seeing our former guest here in the chat.
Yeah, it really is. It really.
You know.
I still got to say welcome home, Drew, because I know being gone for that long really sucked, man. It's always good to see you, my dude. It's always good to see you. Always good to see you.
Yeah, man. So before we shift over to some of the year festivities, I gotta go into baseball real quick because first Kansas City and the Yankees, who we will be seeing on August 9th.
We will.
They had their home series here, and it was back and forth, and it was actually pretty good.
It was.
It was very interesting time this week in baseball because we're getting into the home run derby soon.
Mm-hmm.
People are hitting home runs off the bat now that they're not using sticky stuff.
Surprise!
You know, this guy Fernando Tatis Jr. hit 3 home runs before the 4th inning the other day.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Shohei Ohtani is still whopping dingers. He's up to 25 now. Vladimir Guerrero,
this is just after, like, so this is kind of just proving your point with the spider tack that they were using.
Oh yeah, and
on the baseball.
And here comes the greatest stat. If I get the number wrong, my apologies. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has made the exact same home runs in the exact same amount of games that his father did.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a very
Right.
it's a very beautiful achievement, and home run derby is going to be good this year. But the one thing I wanted to talk about, college baseball, North Carolina State got disqualified from the finals in the middle of their game for breaking the COVID-19 protocol.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did they do?
So the article is saying here on ESPN, during an improbable run to Omaha, Nebraska, and this is the College World Series, by the way, the North Carolina State baseball team inspired belief among Wolfpack supporters who've long waited for something for anything to celebrate during a decades-long national championship drought. This year, like so many before, it ended in the biggest heartbreak. Perhaps because the state did not lose on the field, but off of it. It lost to COVID-19, which at first left the Wolfpack depleted in the defeat on Friday, and based on NCAA protocol, forced it out of the College World Series, a victory away from playing for a long-coveted national championship. They're not releasing any information of what happened.
And
But this, if this happened in the MLB, we'd be like, okay, they'll be fine. They'll have another chance. But we're talking about college students losing an opportunity to probably the only time in their life they're gonna have at this.
right. And you know what, man, the only thing I can really say about this is one of those things where when you join the military, when you've been a veteran, sometimes you just have to salute and execute. You are not always going to agree with the rules, right? I'm talking the metaphorical rules, right? If you're given a rule and it's easy to follow, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, just follow the fucking rules. As long as nobody's getting hurt, as long as nobody's getting, as long as it's not endangering something or you're not waiting too long to make a decision, just fucking do it. It's not that hard. And now, like you said, John, now there's a bunch of, and there's probably, I have to assume there's seniors on that baseball team just lost their chance at a national championship because somebody didn't follow the fucking rules.
And we'll either maybe or maybe not even see these guys in the MLB, because
Correct. This could be their last. If they don't go, even if they try to go semi-pro, if they get drafted, they can try to go semi-pro, but there's no guarantee they're going to make it to the majors. They some of them might be playing their last baseball games, moving forward. This could be it for them, and they just lost their chance at a national championship because somebody didn't follow the rules.
Yep.
And I'm not. Yeah, don't look at me as the authoritarian here, because I'm the poster child of not following rules, right? Like, don't get it twisted here. But there's a time and a place. Sometimes you got to just shut up and color. And when they have COVID-19 protocols that we've had since like fucking last year and the whole debacle of last year and coronavirus, it is still going on, people.
Yep.
And if you're on a sports team, if you're part of a business, whatever your thing is in life, if there are rules regarding this stuff, just follow them. It doesn't matter what your personal beliefs are. Just follow the fucking rules. Nobody wants to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there was even the incident that came out this week that an NBA basketball player threatened to pop the NBA bubble too.
As far as what? Like, what do you mean?
The NBA bubble that all the NBA players were staying in? One of the NBA players threatened to pop it.
And that would probably that NBA player would probably lose a lot of money. He'd probably get suspended, fined, whatever, like, for doing that. And that's just one of those. Do you remember at the very, very beginning of the outbreak last year, there was an NBA player as a joke came out during a press conference. This is before, like, there was a lot of numbers in the United States, and he walked up to every microphone on the stage and touched every microphone. And the dude ended up testing positive.
Right, I remember him.
He was like one of the first big name people to test positive for coronavirus.
He was the poster boy because they were fucking shitting on him because of that.
Yeah, and it started out very innocent. I'm not blaming him or making a statement against that player. He was just making a joke, and I get his humor. You know, like, oh yeah, everybody's scared. Everybody's scared. Here I am touching the microphones, and then he comes up positive a couple days later, and I think that was where everybody kind of collectively shit their pants. It was like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, this is real.
You
This
know,
is fucking.
not for nothing.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it did take me that to kind of understand what was going on. You know?
When a virus is airborne, that's what scientists fear. Scientists fear airborne viruses because, especially when we don't have vaccines, you know, the vaccine that we have to this day, the vaccine that we have is still not FDA approved. It is FDA approved under emergency status. That's it. And that's why that's why there's 3 different types. You have the Pfizer, the Moderna, and the Johnson and Johnson. That's exactly why there's 3 of them and not just one FDA approved one. You know, like at the time we didn't have a vaccine, and scientists fear this shit because if it was a more potent and lethal virus, you know, like we've lost hundreds of thousands of people, we've lost millions worldwide, and this is not even the most potent airborne virus that's out there. You know, that's why people freak the fuck out when there's an outbreak of Ebola virus, because Ebola virus is fucking deadly. You know, that's why they go into immediate lockdown. That's why there are protocols in place.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you got to listen to the people, the CDC. You know, when they tell you like you have to do X, Y, and Z, just shut up and color X, Y, and Z. Now, granted, there was a lot of stuff going on last year, a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
A lot of good information that just wasn't followed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
And a lot of and a lot of misinterpreted information as well. That was
absolutely. And it's sad to me that we live in 2021 and it's even really that big of an argument.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not a fucking scientist. I didn't spend fucking years in a lab fucking studying this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck. You know, like that's one area in life where I'll fucking salute and execute. And if it's a little bit of a fucking if it's a little bit shitty, it'll be a little bit shitty for a while. So fucking what? I'll deal with it. But then again, I've been in the fucking army for 11 and a half years. So how shitty is it, right? How shitty is it? You know, it's like, I don't give a fuck.
How hard, how hard is your life? we want to know.
My life's about to get a lot easier, brother. It's about to get a lot.
Yes, it is. And, you know, now that we're talking about it, 365, well, really, you know, with how the years work, 364 days ago, we did our first episode. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We winged it. We enjoyed it. We felt good about it, and we're still here. We're still here. You know,
ain't going anywhere.
You know, with now the unpublished episodes, you know, if I had to estimate, we're probably over 60 episodes in, including our old After Darks, which will be coming back. You know, our watch parties, which, you know, will be coming back. You know, you got to build the foundation first. Then we built foundation. Foundation was broken. We built the foundation again, and now we're starting to lay down the groundwork. And it's been such a fucking ride. You know,
it has been. It has been.
I've learned so much about broadcasting and podcasting, and then covering everything that we have covered. Just a vast amount of like subjects that we've broken ground with: comic books, movies, sports, comic books, you know, comic book movies. You know, we watched the Mandalorian finale. You know, we've had some amazing times together, and I think one of the coolest things about what we do is that probably a really interesting fact that people didn't know is that we didn't even really know each other.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
We were still strangers.
Yeah, you and me met basically online during coronavirus. We had a kind of a core group of people that were playing Modern Warfare, and so we would, I mean, literally every day, because nobody was working. You know, it was like 10 a.m. crack the first beer, and we were playing like hours a day. You know, in between meals and taking care of kids and whatever else we had to do. But everybody was locked down. We were online for freaking like hours and hours a day. Hours and hours a day.
Fuck.
And it was oh god, dude. Like, and we, oh god. Like I'm oh Jesus Christ. I don't even want to think about how much time and money I spent on beer last year. Jesus. But yeah, but no, but we had a good time, and we kind of developed this core group. And I know I don't think it would be right if we did not acknowledge that there's some people that aren't here right now. With they're here, but they're not forgotten. And I want to acknowledge them because they were here before. And we do still love them. We do still care about them. So for those of you guys that have been with us for longer than the last like 2 or 3 months, understand that they're not necessarily gone forever. And we hope to see them again in the future. They're just taking time in their own lives, doing their own thing, and that's okay. And we still love them. And they've got seats on our table. So
Absolutely.
it's one of those things where life happens, and it's not necessarily good, bad, or ugly. It's just life happens sometimes. And so me and John have just continued carrying the torch. And that's not a statement against anybody that's not with us anymore. That's just me and John are still here, and we are going to stay here. We're not going anywhere. And so, yeah, if you want to, I guess, because we also have people behind the scenes. Our other admins, Marie and Chance. We can't do it without Marie and Chance. We can't do it without the group and the community of DD214 Gaming as a whole. We would not be here without all of you. So I don't care if we have 2 viewers or if we have 2,000 million. Don't fucking care. You know what I mean? Like we're doing this for you as much as we're doing it for us, and we would not be able to do it without the support of the other people, especially the people behind the scenes. Your beautiful wife Francesca, my beautiful girlfriend Nikki. We would not be able to do this shit. Our fucking friends, our fucking families, all the people that love us, and all the people that love each other as a veteran and veteran supporting community. So especially thank you for that. Go ahead, John.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, don't nothing to be sorry about. Really cool, really cool history too. I actually was suggested the group from my best friend Joe. He may still be in the chat. He was in here before.
I was
Joe.
just say he commented earlier. Oh,
Yeah.
Cordalis liked our thing, so Cordalis stopped in for a minute too.
My brother, man, Gio, and
Yeah.
guys, be ready because new Ursius Fragment music is coming out. I don't know.
Yeah.
That may be a little leak. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but I know they're working on something. So stay tuned for that, man. Man, a little history lesson. Yeah, so Joe P, he said, "Hey man, you gotta check out this group, DD214 Gaming," and like the name, I remember saying to myself, like, "Damn, that's such a good marketable name. Like, wow, like that's great." So I'm just like, okay, yeah, let me, I'm gonna jump in, see what's going on, and the first thing that was, I think the first thing that I noticed, and this even still stands today. There has been minimal amounts of drama and negativity in our group the whole time that I've been in.
Absolutely.
And any complaints that have gone by, any arguments, I can't even say that there have been any arguments because everyone gets along. We
really do.
And that was one of the biggest things that I noticed. I'm like, okay, this is a really great group. And then, I assume around that time an admin had left or there was like some issues or something like that. I don't know the full story, but I came in and I saw the opportunity. I was like, well, shit, let me try it out. What's the worst that could happen? Maybe I can push a podcast on them because I was already diving into the podcast world with my old podcast, which was actually with Gio Kobalis and with Joe P. We worked on a thing called Bong Rips and Video Games. And coincidentally enough, our last episode was an E3 episode, I believe. And it was I already knew I wanted to do something in gaming. It just felt right. And and obviously, I like the cannabis, so so I thought it was the right thing. But things happen, life happens. Everyone's an adult, everyone's busy, and then I got the email, hey, come come join us, let's talk. And I spoke to you guys, and then I was in. And then I remember just shortly after that, I was like, hey, I'm getting I'm learning how to do podcasts, and I'd be interested to bring a podcast into this umbrella.
This was kind of like your idea and like your baby, basically, like, and like I have no problem like acknowledging that, because I remember when I remember vividly when that came up, because we were just going. We had been locked down for 2 months, and we were just going into where they were starting to let people go back to work.
Yep.
Yeah, like very barely, like barely, like, and some companies were still locked down. Other places were like, you're going to work from home. Like my job in the Army, we were still working from home.
Yeah.
But this was like right when we were starting to like a little bit go back to work, and that was your idea. It was like, let's start doing a fucking podcast, right?
Yeah, and I remember the reaction from every one of you guys were there. Everyone was like, that's actually interesting, and I remember the original plan was supposed to be just you and our boy. And it was just supposed to be you two, and then somehow it turned, it turned into more, because my original plan was to stay out of the camera, and it just so happened that I, stood on, and I'm still in front of it today, and I found such a great piece every Sunday.
Right. How has it been for you? Like, so you kind of came in without really knowing anybody per se, but then what has the experience been for you?
So first coming in, and first impressions, they always say first impressions are the best impressions, but after meeting you guys, I think that should change, because the first impression I got from you guys, like especially you, stern NCO, because the first moment I saw you, and active duty NCO, couple deployments, infantry. I was like, okay, this guy's professional. He's gonna be on the books, but he's gonna be a fucking hard ass. And you ended up being the one I fucking love the most. And
did you have infantry drill sergeants in your platoon when you were in basic? Because they have a stereo.
I did.
They have a infantry drill sergeants have a stereotype, not at Fort Benning, but at Fort Sill and Fort Jackson and Fort Leonard Wood. Infantry drill sergeants have a stereotype, but it's not the stereotype you would typically imagine for an infantry drill. The stereotype at those other 3 locations, not counting Fort Benning, is that not that they're more relaxed, they're typically more they're firm but fair, basically. Yeah. But they also tend to be the drill sergeants that will help you out the most.
Yes.
And that's where like, okay, that's what I was wondering, because I had 2 infantry drill sergeants, because the first one had to switch out with another one. There was a problem in another platoon, so those 2 infantry drills switched places.
That's interesting.
About halfway through my basic training cycle. But the first one, to this day, will go down in history as like one of my favorite drill sergeants ever. Because he was the man. He was the man, and he was hard as fuck. So like day 3. The first 3 days, I've told the story before, but I'll tell it real quick again. The first 3 days of my basic training, this infantry drill would come up to me and he would say, "Did you shave this morning, Private?" Now being in the military for 11 years, I should have known something was up when he asked me 2 days in a fucking row, right? And I couldn't figure it out, because I really don't grow out of face. I have a mustache, I've got a little bit of goatee, and I got a shitty little soul patch right here. None of those things connect, by the way. I have so little body hair. They don't even connect. But here's the thing. I was shaving every day. I shaved every day. All that crap was gone every day. Day 3, Private, did you shave it this morning? Like, Roger, drill sergeant, I shaved. I'm like, I'm confused as fuck. This is the 3rd day. He's like, he looks me dead in the eye, like leans in, looks me dead in the eye, and he's like, "Go downstairs and get your razor and some hand sanitizer." I'm like, "Oh fuck, here we go." And so like I ran downstairs to my bunk in my locker.
He said hand
sanitizer. I grabbed my razor, I grabbed the hand sanitizer, I go back up, and my whole platoon is in what we call the battle bay. This is on the 3rd floor at Fort Wood. Whole platoon is lined up, standing at attention, waiting for me to get back. This dude made me stand in front of formation and dry shave my whole face. And when I finished dry shaving my whole face, he said, "Put hand sanitizer in your hands." spray that. And he's like, rub your hands together. He said, now put it on your face. Boop, 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 boop. And yes, it burned. And this dude, what he says when I finish that, he's like, feels good, doesn't it? Like, Roger Drill Sergeant, like I wasn't going to give him any either, And so then he like leans in real close right here. Cause at this point I'm staring at like 30 or 40 of my battle brothers and sisters. This dude reads right here. He's like, when I tell you to shave, you shave your whole face. Now, I tell that story for a reason. That was the infantry drill sergeant. On the flip side of that coin, though, that was the drill sergeant that taught us the most. That was the drill sergeant.
That makes a lot of sense.
You can tell the drill sergeants that are there because they care about it and they want to make better soldiers. And there's drill sergeants that are there because they fell on orders and they fucking hate their lives. He was one that cared, and he was one that wanted to make better soldiers. So over the course of the next few weeks, he was teaching me to pay attention to detail. He was talking about all the fucking. I might not have a lot of hair on my face, but I have peach fuzz, right? He said, paying attention to detail. When you shave your whole face. That's attention to detail. He was teaching me like an army life lesson, basically. Okay, and that particular lesson came with a little bit of pain, but sometimes that's how you learn.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man.
Over the course of the next few weeks, before he got switched to a different platoon, he showed us a lot of stuff. He showed us how to set up our gear properly. He showed some of the younger privates that never shot a weapon. He showed them how to shoot. You know what I mean? He was a good drill sergeant. The guy he switched out with was the exact opposite. This was a stone cold killer fucking infantryman who did not want to be there. He did not want to be there. And you could tell. He treated everybody like fucking dog shit, which drill sergeants do that.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between treating them like dog shit and treating them like fucking dog shit. Like
there is a vast difference. There is a vast difference.
You're supposed to be treated like dog shit, but you're not supposed to be treated like fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're supposed to be broken into, not broken into pieces.
Correct. That's exactly right. You break them down so you can build them back up. He was just there breaking everybody the fuck down. And he fucking sucked. And the difference between the two was fucking astounding. And so, like, I could see your first impression of me being one way, but then as you get to know me, if you get to know Jay versus what you see as Staff Sergeant Campbell, right?
And it's so interesting because I did have a drill sergeant, and it was weird because obviously when you're in boot camp, you think you're gonna have the same drill sergeants the whole fucking time. Sometimes it's not the case, and somewhere like maybe I want to say maybe our second or third week, Drill Sergeant Spears came, and this guy was like, pretty much like you, everything that the personification of a full infantry grunt,
right?
Hard on the outside, hard as fuck. When we first met him, my first interaction with him was, "Did you shave this morning, Private?" And that's why I laugh, because it's the attention to detail is outstanding with those hard ass soldiers, because they know every bit. They know every little acre in your face. But I'll never forget, I thought this guy was such a piece of shit. I thought he was such a piece of shit because the first interaction with him was, "All right, guys, get on the fucking ground, faces to the dirt, low crawl. If your face was not getting scratched up on the ground, you were not getting it done right." And
that's correct. That's how you're supposed to fucking low crawl. Yep. That's exactly right.
You're holding your weapon through the strap. You're using your elbows and your uniform to pretty much grip the ground and drag yourself. And I remember thinking to myself, who is this piece of shit? Why the fuck? What? And he was yelling at us, man. He was just like, "Faces on the fucking dirt," And then time went on. He was always aggressive, but this was also the drill sergeant who tested another soldier to see if he actually knew about class 4 or 5 weapons like he actually did. And this, if it wasn't for this drill sergeant, I would have never known to properly open up the back of a machine gun, And as time went on, he was probably I don't want to say the smartest, but one of the smarter ones, because I personally believe that my drill sergeant was the smartest drill sergeant because he was, fuck it. If you want to call it bias, it's bias. But he was so knowledgeable about everything, and plus his cadences were like fucking listening to soul music on XM radio. So, which actually XM radio, you guys should make a military channel with nothing but cadences.
There you go.
With Jay and John as your hosts.
Yeah. We're back now. It's top of the hour, 17 hundo. Flags going down. We're gonna get you going with your ride home. Here comes C-130 rolling down the street.
Yep, there you go. Hey, that'd be a great fucking radio station. No, yeah, so yeah, I one of my favorite things that we've done on this show is speaking to our different variety of guests. We had Mike J, developer of Postal, which was probably, we got to have him back because that was probably one of the craziest interviews we have literally ever had.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We had a very interesting conversation about bidets. And,
yeah.
And
dipping cigars into cognac,
Yeah.
Give me some of that cognac.
I personally really enjoyed that interview. He was very, he was very informative. He was very informative.
Mike is a great dude. He always has been. I'm talking going all the way back to when we were in elementary school together. Him and his brother, both his younger brother, they are both tremendous dudes. I haven't been connected with them for a long time. Even back when I was still in Tucson. You get older and you get into your 20s and people live their lives. So you kind of drift apart. But he's always been a fantastic dude. Like, obviously, he's a friend of mine and from childhood, and we keep up with each other on Facebook. And the dude is living the life. Like, he's a great dude. He's got a beautiful wife. He's having fun. He's living. And I commend him for that. And he's just a great person. You know what I mean? Just a great fun person.
Yeah, it was so cool. Especially I when I had asked him about John St. John being the voice of Dude Nukem coming into Postal, I was I expected a little I can't talk about that because I know that there's just some things that you just can't talk about and
right.
he was more than willing to give us the history, the information, and that that was such a cool episode. We had another episode, our first guest, Drew Davis. And, he gave us a lot of
from Afghanistan.
Yeah, he was with us live from Afghanistan, and he showed us that crazy video, with the attack that was going on that he witnessed. Great insight on contracting, especially for those who want to get out there, who are looking into something like that, who want to make really good money, and if you guys are following the Menace, if you're not, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
Support each other. We got people. I keep seeing more and more streams popping up every day, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy because I want us as a community to support each other's. Nichelle, one of our core group gamers from the Call of Duty days. Nichelle was getting ready to go live one night. This is like about 2 weeks ago, maybe. I was like, you know what, screw it. So I popped in and she was playing GoldenEye on the N64. So I just sat in there and watched.
There you go.
I just sat in there and watched her play GoldenEye for about half an hour. And it was like,
that's cool.
Just to give her some support. You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with if you're laying in bed and just fucking around on your phone, you can still fuck around on your phone while your computer is telling another computer that you're watching and you're giving somebody some support. You know what I mean? Like what?
And it's all it takes. That's all it takes. And
leave shit on in the background and just give some support. You know what I mean?
And it's really cool because when I go on the YouTube or the Facebook or even the Anchor Analytics, I see where all you guys are and how long you guys are listening. And even if you're in there for the 3 seconds, you're still up there. And that little split second is a number up.
That's right.
And just even clicking it, to me, that's support. Just going in and oh, okay, well, you saw our faces. You see our faces now. What was actually really interesting. Now I know how YouTube works with their algorithm. If it suggests things that you like. You know, and my son came up to me the other day. He ran into the room and he was like, "Daddy, you're on the TV." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Because he's on YouTube. He loves YouTube, and he's just like, "Look, you're right there." And our podcast was right there on the corner of the suggested watch list, you know, for his videos. I was just like, that's pretty cool, you know.
Yep.
You know, our other guest, we had Geo from Cobal, you know, Geo from Cobalis. It's Cobalis from Ursius Fragment.
Right.
You know, we actually premiered his song before the episode, called Rophobicon.
Yep.
Fantastic fucking crazy
Absolutely.
song. You know,
Absolutely.
and, you know, he gave us some great insight on what their process is on working on the record. His stance on single player gaming, which, you know,
Oh, yeah. Like that's one that, you know, I don't totally disagree with either, because like I'm a big single person gamer. You know what I mean? Like single player campaigns, like that's kind of my forte. You know what I mean? Like I like online, I like multiplayer, but it takes a very certain type of game to get me into multiplayer gaming. Not unlike Modern Warfare was a great game last year, especially during Corona.
Yeah.
But typically I play single player campaign games because that's just what I do, and that's kind of how I am, I guess. And his whole stance and philosophy on single player gaming was, you know, is very, you know, you can tell how intelligent this dude is. He's like really thought it out. Like,
Yeah.
To justify his position to kind of like play alone, basically. You know what I mean? Like, which he doesn't. You don't need to justify anything. If you're more comfortable playing by yourself, play by yourself. But
Yeah.
you could tell he really thought it out. He really thought it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then the funny thing about Geo is that he is such a good multiplayer gamer that he, you know, I introduced him to Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and he beat it in 3 days. He beat the whole game in 3 days. And he's not a person who plays military games. You know, he plays.
Right.
You know, he's into, like, you know, Bethesda games. You know, RPGs and things like that. You know, really good and rich cinematic games. And to
Right.
see him beat Ghost Recon
In 3 days.
you know, but beat the game before I did. You know, it goes to show you, like, damn, you know, this guy, he's literally is a gaming philosopher. You know, and
Right.
then we had Sergeant Bodette.
Yeah, we had Staff Sergeant Bodette. That was another friend of mine.
Which we're gonna need a part 2 for that one.
I think we are, because Chris is a very special person. Like he's
Because
very
I need to know.
He's coming home in August, so I'm looking forward to. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We got to get him on for a part 2, because we need to hear more stories of the Four Horsemen.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, you know that.
Yeah, careful what you wish for, there, brother.
Yeah, hey, you know what? That's fine. You know, long lessons, but yeah, man, it's been. You know, some people will think it was a long year, but I think.
Don't. Well, let's not forget you're leaving one little group out, and that's Blaze Online. Like Alex and oh God,
Johnny
and Johnny. Thank you, Alex and John. They, you know, that was a great episode. Very informative. Talking about
Go
ahead.
Yeah, there were some things that I never even knew about, especially like learning about the Farm Act.
Yeah, well, and the fact that you know Delta 8 is federally legal, whereas Delta 9, i.e., your traditional cannabis / marijuana, is still federally illegal, right? So all the states that have legalized federally, marijuana is still illegal, but Delta 8, which is derived from, you know, the hemp plant, is federally legal. You know, like that is something. There's something to be said for that, and the fact that they jumped on this and are making a business out of it, and you know all that, it says a lot about those two gentlemen, and you know how they're kind of jumping in the deep end, you know, head first, and just saying screw it, we're gonna do this, and we'll let the chips fall, and we'll just keep going. And I love that kind of fortitude, and you know the intestinal fortitude, the bravery that it takes to just go with something like that and just and run with it, because I think they're going to be kind of like the pioneers in their region of the country, and they're already pioneers of Delta 8, which is amazing. And we had them on our podcast. Like we get to say we were like ahead of the curve. We get to say we were ahead of the curve by enlightening the masses on some of the differences between Delta 8 and Delta 9, and some of the help it can help with some of the stuff, some of their products. It's not just to get a buzz. A lot of it's medicinal, to help out with like aching joints, and they have salves and tinctures and stuff that will help with issues that you might be having with your health. Like it's good. It's awesome. It's awesome. You know what I mean?
It's man. The one thing that
it's been a year.
Yeah, but then the one thing that I really loved about that interview is, other than the fact that this is one of my best friends and one of my oldest friends growing up, he an outstanding soldier, one of the smartest men I know, and Alex is always pushing through. He is a phenomenal artist. He's actually put some of his art on in the group. And he also actually runs an art page of his own work, Grimshaw Creations. He always has a new idea, and the train never stops for him. And it was seeing him in the stage that he is now in his life, to see him doing this, it's truly it's amazing, especially for someone who is constantly overcoming the odds. Because you can.
And like we said at the very beginning of the podcast, this is what happens when you want to see your brothers and sisters succeed.
Yeah.
We're not. I want to see everybody in the DD214 gaming community. I want to see them succeed. That's why we allow people to share their streams. I want people to share their artwork. I want people to plug their businesses. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be 16 posts a day, like 15, every 15 minutes. But there's nothing wrong with putting something up, once a day. You write up a new piece of art. You open up your own business. You're part of the veteran community. Like we're gonna support you. We are going to support you. Like I want to see people succeed. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to see my brothers and sisters and not being able to pull themselves out of whatever valley they're in.
Absolutely.
We're gonna help you walk through the valley. My rucksack is not full. I still got room for weight. I can help you carry some of that bullshit, and I'll get you back up that motherfucking mountain. That's my goddamn job, is to get you back up that fucking mountain. And we're gonna do and motherfuckers, we're gonna do it together. Nobody's fucking alone here. We're gonna do it fucking together. All right, we're gonna conquer this motherfucker. We're taking no goddamn prisoners. We don't fucking surrender. All right, that's not a fucking option. We will fucking die on this hill together if that's what it takes. So there you go.
Yeah, and Jay, we are so over our time.
That's okay. I we're having a good time, and yeah. I didn't want to. Don't worry about the other stuff.
I just I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you because you gave me an opportunity to have there wasn't obviously there wasn't a lot of complete freedom, and this is saying for all of us who are hierarchies in this. There wasn't a lot of freedom for us to do what we are doing now, and it's gotten much easier, especially with all the black clouds that pass by. It's gotten much easier, and it's gotten much more positive, and I have to thank you because my mental health. This has helped my mental health a lot. Two, I've met a brother for life.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Because trust me, if I think it's pretty obvious, going across the country with my family to enjoy a good fucking time with my brother. This is a whole. If you think about it, it's literally I don't want to say it's exactly a year, but we're meeting in August. This is like a 1 year celebration of all the work that not just me and you, but Chance and Marie have done.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We have put And it goes to show the group, our people, the Warriors, they've made it easier for us because they're here with us. You know,
Right.
you know, and I have to thank literally you guys. I have to thank you mostly because you've been right next to me the whole time. You know,
Right.
you've literally been right by my side this whole ride, and you know we're still here, and like you said, we're carrying the torch. You know, we didn't have to pass it down. No one tried to take it from us, and by God, if anyone tried, you know, they'd get, you know,
Good luck.
you-
Good luck.
they're gonna have a really hard fucking time. You
Well,
know?
I think it goes without saying that we're in this together, and we're a community, and this is bigger than one or two people. We might be kind of the quote unquote faces of it, but this is not just a John and Jay thing. It is so fucking bigger than that. And times change and things change. DD Do 14 Gaming is bigger than two people, and it's more important than two people. It's about the community. It's about veterans and family members and friends of veterans and veteran supporters coming together to do great things, you know, in life, you know, inside or outside of the military or both. It doesn't matter. We have active duty service members. We have service members that just got out. We have family and friends of service members. Okay, I'm getting ready to get out. I'm turning in my fucking gear tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like we do this together. It wouldn't be worth doing this if we weren't doing it together. If it was just the John and Jay show, boring.
Oh my God.
Boring. You know,
Oh
like,
my
fuck
God.
that show. Fuck that show, dude. Like I don't want to watch that show. And
I would want to watch that.
That's what
I
I'm
mean, I would watch it. It would be good, but you know, it'd probably be canceled off the airwaves. You know,
saying, man, like we get the support we get because it's a community, not because of two people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I thank you, and I tell you what, brother, I can't wait till August. We get to meet in person. We get to hang out.
man.
You know, we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be great. I get to show you my birthplace. You know, we'll eat some good food. You know,
Barbecue. We're ready.
we'll go-
We're ready
we'll go-
for the barbecue, right, baby?
dude, just wait, just freaking wait, dude. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be, and we get to go catch a game at the ballpark.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey,
like,
and you know what? It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot and heavy. It's, you know, we're getting
It is.
closer to the playoffs, so
oh yeah, and if you know, and I think the Royals are kind of already unofficially done for the year, but I think the Yankees still have a chance. So that's gonna be a big series for the Yankees, probably more than the Royals. The Royals like started hot, and as soon as May hit, they nosedived, and they really haven't come out. Like they kind of leveled off a little bit, like, but they're basically playing like win one, lose one.
ain't
you're
nobody cheating
no-
no more.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you can't win baseball games, or you can't go to the playoffs if you win one, lose one. That's not how baseball works. So Alex, currently I'm in Colorado right now, but I'm going to be moving to Kansas City later this year, and me and John are going to be meeting in Kansas City for, I guess, the tail end of our summer vacations.
Yeah.
At the beginning of
isn't it interesting how it's just the perfect time? All the kids are right before going to
before-
school. You know that we're going into the fall season. The New Year's about to come.
Coronavirus is finally leveling off to where we can actually do that shit together, and we don't have to worry about it as much. You know what I mean? Like, so we actually have the opportunity now to meet in person and actually do some, you know, and hang out and just enjoy
and do a show. Do a show together.
We can do a co-located show together for like the first time.
Yeah.
You might have to bring some of your equipment, dude.
Oh, it's already been talked about. It's already been talked about. You know,
Good.
but you know, we you know, we are getting in our time, and shit, man. You know, 1 year, and you know, before we get into the final thought, next week, you know, starts the new year for DD214 Gaming. And guess what next Sunday is?
Next Sunday, that would be it's the 4th of July.
Yes, it
Next
is.
Sunday is the fucking 4th of July. Holy shit.
You know,
Perfect.
And it's funny, and it's funny how I said in the message to you last night. It's very interesting how all these holidays this past year really lined up for a lot of
Yeah.
our shows. You know, at least we know Mother's Day and Father's Day will always be a Sunday. So
Do you want to know how bad coronavirus fucks shit up, dude? If you go back on the calendar of 2020, like every major holiday was either on a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday. Cinco de Mayo was on Taco Tuesday.
that's
right.
right. Cinco de Mayo was on Taco Tuesday
And fuck it, like 2020 was supposed to be like the year of holidays because they were all
on weekends.
on weekends or on like the day of the week they probably should be, i.e., like Cinco de Mayo being on Taco Tuesday, right? And this year we finally get to celebrate holidays, and Sunday, proverbially speaking, Sunday being in our country the more I guess holy day of the week, the 4th of July for us veterans is on the holy day of the week. So this is our church, DD214 Gaming. Our church is the podcast, right? So this is where we go to church every week. And so next Sunday, 4th of July, baby, we get to celebrate 245 years of American history next Sunday on our podcast on the 4th of July. So hell fucking yeah. Hell fucking yeah.
And America's open, baby. So
America's back, baby.
And what a better time. But, this wouldn't be a DD214 Gaming podcast episode if we didn't obviously always talk about what we have been talking about every single week for the past year. Every single week we talk about this. 22 a day. Promoting better lives for each other and for those around you. Being there for each other. Picking up the phone. Answering a text message. We would not be doing our job if we didn't promote this, if we didn't talk about it, because it is real. It is very real. The suicide prevention lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-8255. Every single day we are losing somebody. Different reasons, different actions, different emotions. Sometimes we will never know the true answer, but the only thing that we can do is be there. Even if they're not expecting it. Maybe come by, knock on the door, be like, hey, you want a cup of coffee? Do you need anything? Give them a phone call. Hey, you watching it? Are you playing anything today? We're all we have.
Yep.
We are all we have.
But we do it together. And I think a lot of the problems for people start when they start thinking that they're alone. And you got to get it out of your heads that you're alone. You are not alone. Stop being proud. Don't be too proud to reach out for help. It's not necessarily a suicide thing, but me and my girlfriend have had a couple of long talks last couple weeks about our mental health and how we are interacting with each other. I think you guys might have noticed last couple of weeks I've been drinking Rippets and stuff instead of beer and alcohol. There's a reason for that. I don't like getting too personal on the podcast, about stuff like that. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason I'm not drinking on the podcast right now, and it's okay. I like having
it's been showing the evolution of the show too.
Yeah, and I know not to get personal with you. I know, John, you're kind of on a drinking hiatus yourself, and like I get it, because alcohol is just one of those drugs that it's a lot of fun and you can have fun on it, and it makes it easier to socialize for people that are a little bit more introverted. But the dark side of that drug often rears its ugly head at 3 a.m. when people start making bad decisions that they can't take back. You know what I mean? And that's, I want to encourage people, especially if you're having issues with alcohol dependency or abuse, either get help or sweat it out for a couple days and give yourself like a month break, give yourself a 6-month break, give yourself a year break, whatever you need. I've said many times, like, I got sober for about 3.5 years in my mid-20s. So typically when most people are partying their asses off, I was sober for 3.5 years. The Army, unfortunately, I can't blame the Army for my own personal decisions, but the Army kind of teaches you how to be a really, really good functioning alcoholic. You know what I mean? And you get really, really good at drinking a lot and then waking up at freaking 4:30 in the morning the next day and just doing it all again. and it's not healthy. And when you get out and you don't have the Army as like that thing that forces you to get out of bed the next morning, it gets really depressing. And I don't want to be depressed about getting up in the morning when I get out of the Army in October. I'm looking forward to being a dad. I'm looking forward to taking my kids to school, picking them up from school, having the time in my life to be able to fucking do that. Period. Because being in the Army, I never had that time. It was always somebody else. I'm depending on somebody else to help me out with that because my job needs me to salute the flag at 6:30 in the morning, which means I have to freaking get up at like 4:30 to start driving to get there in the first place. So I was for many, many years, I haven't really been there for my kids. I'm looking forward to being there for my kids now. And that's something that gets me out of bed. Find a reason to get out of bed. Find something that makes you happy. Get back into that hobby you always had, when you're younger. Get back into your hobbies. Start reading again, start writing again, start drawing again. Start playing more video games. Do stuff that makes you happy. Get mentally and physically and spiritually fit, guys. We need you here. We need all of you here. We need this community, and we're gonna fucking do it together. God damn it, we're gonna do it fucking together. It's fucking e pluribus unum, man. It's on your fucking coinage. Look in your pocket. Look at your dollar bills. E pluribus unum. From many, one. Right? We can't do it. We can't do it if there's even a single person missing. One broken link breaks the whole chain. So don't fucking do that, please.
Yes, sir. And on that note, guys, thank you for literally everything that you guys have done for us. We literally couldn't have done this without you. Your support, your motivation, your words, your encouragement, your suggestions, the very minuscule dislikes that we do have. Very minuscule, but we're here.
Constructive criticism is not a bad thing.
No, never.
Constructive criticism is not a bad thing. But if you're just gonna criticize us, we're just gonna say fuck you too.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't like us, don't watch. But if you have something constructive, give us a solution. What can we do better?
Absolutely.
By all means, give us that AR. Give us that after action review and give us the constructive criticism. Let us know what we can do better. We will happily take that criticism and run with it. Absolutely.
And ladies and gentlemen, see you next week for Independence Day. It's going to be a special one. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We love you. Stay safe.
Be good, everybody.